morning and welcome to Trading with Larry. It's Larry Benedict, joined by Eric Shamalov. Another day in the books. Yesterday was quite ridiculous for equities. Again, had them on the ropes. Actually, S&P traded the low of the year in the market trading hours, and somehow they reversed that 100 handles, and now we're up 30 more. Don't know what's going on. I'm fully not getting it. I don't know. You're Johnny Bear right now. I mean, I wasn't as bearish overnight, only because I see European and Asian markets going up. I don't know what it really means for us. I do think I'm not going to use the word in trouble. We're not in trouble by any means, but I feel like a lot of stuff looks very heavy. Um, and the culprits are still not good. Like even with the rally back in S&P yesterday, silver and gold sold off a lot. They're up a little today, but that trend is still intact. I talked a little bit about Bitcoin. I was actually through options looking to get long a little bit, but it doesn't act right. I figured it would be, at least 69.70, and it's about to go in the 66 handle. So that trade is yuck. Not a lot there. Amazing that this
What
consolidation.
what trade is that? Larry, what trade was that you just mentioned?
I mentioned Bitcoin. I kind of liked it here, um, just because I think it's silver and gold, but 4 months, 3 or 4 months advanced over silver and gold, meaning it's gone down, it's consolidated, it consolidated between 80, I'm sorry, like 70 whatever and 80, and then it consolidated again here at 65, but there are no buyers. I think the same thing is going to happen in gold and silver. I'm fully convinced that they're going to break the lows of this move. I know you're not. Obviously, today, a little bit of a relief because of risk on. They're bad longs. Like it's interesting because the U.S. equity market hasn't seen bad longs, even though stocks internally, like the internals of the U.S. stock market, look terrible. I mean, stocks are, Microsoft, all these stocks are down, and what they do is, like yesterday, they bought Apple and Nvidia. Today, they're buying Nvidia. They may sell Apple today. They left Tesla alone. They're always buying one or two of these stocks. So that's what's, been holding up the market. But, when you have one true commodity, whether it's gold, silver, Bitcoin, which isn't a commodity, I don't know what it actually is, but you can explain what Bitcoin actually is. Uh, it's just a trading vehicle. But I would say, it's harder to manipulate or move up those markets because of what I just said. It's one instrument. So it's not like here today, you know, Nvidia could be up and they could sell Apple or sell Microsoft or whatever or buy something. And these culprits are the same. They're doing the same thing day in and day out. They're running in one stock, buying it all day, selling another stock, then the next day taking that off, running the other way. And listen, I would tell you in the last, I would say yesterday, Friday, and Thursday, the amount of money lost in zero DTE and whipping of the market, I believe, is very large. You and I both price the straddle every day. The straddle is actually a little cheaper today than it was yesterday, obviously, because we moved up. But, straddles are $50 and they've been going to zero. That's a lot of pain to take. Okay. I mean, that's not like making $3 on an option. You're making $50. That takes a long time to make back. So, that's what I'm seeing here. A lot of losing, a lot of, uh, how do I say it? Um, Gamification. They're trying to find gamma. It's hard to find the gamma when the straddle's $50 or $60. A lot. you to find the gamma on the $20 straddle or $30 straddle because you only have to move the market $30 to get the gamma. Now you need to move the market $60, $70 to get the gamma. And if you want to know the truth, the S&P was down 1% on the year on the low yesterday, and now is up 1/4% or something like that. But yet we move 100 handles every hour, every day. So something seems really wrong. This market has turned into a full out gambling casino. It's a full out casino, dude. You might as well put out the drinks, lay out some tables, and it's just a gambling casino. And I don't know how, I don't know how you're looking at it or what you see, but I see full out gambling. Like people are buying zero DTs every single day, praying they make a 5x return. It hasn't happened. And these people are dying on the vine. And we're losing them one by one, which is a good thing because they shouldn't be doing it because they don't really know much about trading or much about the market. So that's what I would say about that. Um, looking around the market, it's really hard to determine what is going on here. I mean, yesterday at 10 o'clock, puts were bid. I mean, you saw it. Puts were bid to the moon. Market was down. Puts that were $10 were $50, and then they went to zero. So, this is the environment we're in. It's I don't know if I would call it like an all or nothing environment, but it's a pretty bad environment, because you don't even know why, it's complete gambling. I'm telling you, you don't even know why we're moving. Like right now, like I woke up this morning. Let me give it to you. S&Ps were up 37. Literally, I get in the shower, get dressed, start driving to work, they're up 15. Then they're up 30 again, and then it's just I just feel like it's degenerates running the show here. And you got to sort of sidestep it for the time being and, maneuver around. I don't, foreign markets are doing well. Nikkei is near an all time high. DAX is near an all time high. To be honest, we're near an all time high. We're like 1.25% from an all time high. So, they've thrown bricks at it, stones at it. They come up with whatever, and the market's just sitting here. So I'm going to give it to you because I'm talking a lot. I've been up since 5 in the morning. I'll let you talk about your thought on the equity market. Then I want to shift a little bit to these commodities because I have a really good thought on it, and I think my thought on gold and silver has been, even though maybe you admitted I was right yesterday. I don't know. Maybe that was a dream, not actually reality. But the fact.
All I know, you were really bearish on the air yesterday on gold, and I bought right on the air, and I'm still holding that, which is actually helping
Okay,
because
whatever, dude. You bought. It was down 180 on the day. You bought. Yeah, great trade, dude. Yeah, okay. The thing got. It was its third worst day, basically, of the move. So you killed
that's
it.
when
Okay. So what? You made a
buy.
dollar scalping the other way. I don't know. I have no
Did
idea
prices
what you're
scare
doing.
you? Did low prices scare you?
Eric, low
You know,
prices don't
you want to
scare
buy, you
me.
want to
It's
buy the
the
dips.
it's Eric, listen. It's the market setup. It is not low prices. It's the market setup, okay? And until we have heavy volume coming through in gold and silver, I think we continue to go lower because the longs are trapped. Let me ask you, do you think the longs are trapped in Bitcoin? Do you think the longs are trapped in Bitcoin?
Um, so you had an interesting thought on that. I think they are trapped. We looked at outflows out of IBIT yesterday. It's there's been quite a bit of outflows in Bitcoin, which is actually making you bullish. I agree with that.
I mean, no, no, no,
You
no. Let me, no, no. Let me just. I bought options because I thought that it was circulated out. Um, that trade. It may work later today. I don't know. That trade surprisingly to me today, on a day where the market is up, decently. in a risk on format, and to have Bitcoin, barely up overnight. It's not down, it's down 40 bips, but not to have it up is weird. And I don't know, what it means moving forward. Maybe the rally comes, whatever. I was going to get into this a little bit later, but this is what I think. So Bitcoin is how many months into the correction? The high was made in what, October or November in
Yeah,
Bitcoin?
October. As you can see here, this is the IBIT ETF top panel, and then the fund flows here on the bottom.
Yeah, I think it was either the end of
So you can see
September, beginning of October. Okay, so we got November, December,
beginning.
January, February. We're 4 months into this, which is pretty long. Which is pretty long. Okay, to not have really too much of a counter trend rally at all. Okay. But here's what I want to equate it to. I want to equate it to gold and silver. And gold and silver are only less than a month into this correction. Okay. So I think potentially there's a lot more to go. That's just listen, that's just one dumb guy's opinion. And that's me. I really fully believe this. So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking you could sell metals. I know you like them. I don't know really why. Um, but I think you can sell rallies there and wait for a volume extension, and then maybe turn the other way. Again, um, you know,
So to be clear, for Bitcoin, you're looking for a counter trend
no,
move
I
to
mean,
the
listen, I'm
upside.
looking, I'm
Is that right?
looking. Yes, I'm looking for it. It's not happening this minute. It may happen later today. It may happen tomorrow. My options go out Friday. I bought calls. I know what I can lose. It's interesting. The options in IBIT are like so cheap. They're like zero. They're literally so low that 2.5% up in calls is like a dime. 2.5% in Bitcoin, that used to move 2.5% every minute. That's why I don't understand really what's going on here. With IBIT, it doesn't move. Also, in the filings,
It
and I
doesn't move.
think it.
But I think one of the reasons why it's not moving is because you said there's been like a mass exodus, and some of the bad longs are that are remaining are kind of trapped. You can see we went over this yesterday, you and I. The fund flows have been really like negative on this ETF. So that's kind of when you want to start looking for that counter trend is when they're exiting. You could see like a crescendo back in early February, just more outflows, more outflows. Very few days where people are actually buying it. So I think, yeah, I'm kind of looking for that counter trend too, and I like it in a portfolio to the long side a little bit against short Nasdaq.
Well, what's interesting. I saw that Jane Street filed 20 million shares. Now, it could be deceiving because they could be short options, they could have puts, so I don't think it's a true position, but I'm surprised that they filed it. You know what I'm saying? Because they're flipping it out in and out of this stuff left and right. So I don't know if that's a deception play or they're actually accumulating. But even no matter really what you're doing, unless you're buying straight out puts to hedge, you're leaning a little bit long. Again, that's not a huge position. It's only a $30 name. So it's not a big deal, but it was interesting to see them file that. Again, I'm not taking away a lot from that, but it's interesting. And what's interesting to me is just the markets in general. It's a weird market, right? The market looked like very, very strong this morning, and then it stops on a dime and is bidless. Not bidless, but no, not really moving. Um, but let's look at Euro stocks. Okay, DAX is basically I'm just trying to see what I can't get their all-time high, but they were within 100 points of an all-time high. Like less than like a percent, from an all-time high, if even that much. And if you look over at Asia and Japan, I mean, it's something that we missed, okay, or I missed it, and I traded a lot of Japan. Japan is flat over the last week, but is less than a percent from an all-time high and is up 46% in 1 year, okay, and is up 13.5% this year. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good move, right? And our market, literally between me and you, like we're limping into the opening this morning. I don't know if you noticed, like, you know, the S&P is only up 17. It was up 40 this morning when I woke up. So it's retraced half the move pre-open. I don't even know why. You can't even, nobody can look at this market right now and tell me why it's going up or down. Nobody, literally nobody. And, and
Well,
this,
that's not exactly true. You were kind of looking for, you know, a little bit of upside, I guess, today. Why were you
no,
looking
I,
for that?
I thought, this is what I thought. I thought that the Asian market was going to go up and Europe was going to go up, which it both did, and we're opening up, but we're opening. Should I use the word lame? We're opening lame, like it's a lame opening. For what it could be, and it's funny. Anyone buying here is so scared to own them that they can't even hold them. It's like their hands are on fire, and then when they sell them, when they whip up like yesterday, your hands are on fire, So to me, advising to the people here, you know, look at options. It's a much better way to play it. Let's say you even sold the straddle at $50. Buy some wings. You're capped. You don't even have to worry. Like that's what I'm looking at. We got a holiday shortened week. It's Wednesday. Last couple of weeks have been down. Obviously not much. We'll see today what the market is made of. They're selling off the gate, off the opening, before the opening. Um, it's just weird. Like today, Nvidia could go down or up small, and then they'll take up, XYZ or take down five stocks. Like look at the S&P. The S&P might be red by the time we open. I mean, that's pretty crazy. You don't think? That's really
Given this market, no, I don't. Only
why.
because we are conditioned to. I mean, you said it best. Um, the S&P 500 is flat on the year, but whips around 100 points a day.
Right, but this is what I'm not understanding. It does, and everyone loses. So why do they keep doing it? Why do they keep doing it?
I think
Everybody
it's a
loses, Eric. Everybody's losing. Everybody's losing. Okay, the longs are losing, the shorts are losing, everybody's losing, and I'll tell you, for this algorithmic nonsense that's going on, I think that these quant shops are having the worst year ever that they've had. And I think, especially in the last week, they're just getting chopped to smithereens. These are like front running trend trading algorithms, and they're buying low, I mean buying high and selling low all day long. That's what I see. And it's interesting, they can't sell them this morning fast enough. They can't get out fast enough. I mean, are you watching this? I mean, they
I'm
can't get
watching.
out fast enough, which
Yeah,
doesn't even make sense because you want to know what?
get out. They can't get out fast enough. And you look at the board as people are asking me on the chat, what do I think the levels are for credit spreads today? You look up, 50 points out of the money to the upside is bid. It's bid
Well, time. I'm going to
6,900.
call. I'm going to call a time. I'm calling a time for a second. 50 out is bid. You know why? Because we were just up 40. So we just came in 30. So 50 up is going to be bid. What you got to do is when we're up 40, sell 85 out. Those aren't bid. I can promise you that. Those aren't bid. So, yes, 50 up from here, I wouldn't touch that with a 10-foot pole. Okay. It may work, but we just sold off $30 or $25. I don't want to sell up 50. I want to sell up 50 when we're up 50. I want to sell down 50 when we're down 50. Okay. Because I'm going to take a trick from your playbook. That's a 2 sigma move. Okay. And we don't really get those all that often. Yeah, we get 100-point up because you know what? We had 100-point up off the low yesterday because we were down 50 and then we were up 40. That's when you get the 100. You don't get the 100 one way. You rarely get the 100 one way. We had that 2 weeks ago Thursday, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago Friday, when the market was down 70 and ended up 120. That's an outside up day. But like to me, I'm watching the market right now. Like who's selling? Where were you? You were asleep till 8:45 and you woke up and you want to sell now, but you didn't want to sell earlier? Doesn't that freak your mind? Like, I don't know. Where were these clowns? And I mean clowns. Okay. So, for today, again, I don't know levels for the opportunistic trader, for the subscribers to LSP, or S&P spread trader. I think we've had 14. I don't want to jinx it because this is like, when you're watching a football game and they're like the field goal kicker is 14 for 14 and then he misses. We've had like 14 winning trades in a row. I mean, it's been methodical. We're up really good money. Again, last year we started like this, got very choppy mid-year, went down money and then ended up money. But this year I'm being very methodical. Like if the market opens lower than this, I'll sell a put spread way out, because we've already come in, $30, $40. Again, I I don't know, dude. I'm trying to come up with the rhyme or reason why we're moving, and I can't do it. Other than this is a full out gambling casino. This is the stock market has become a full out gambling casino. You know, it just has, and it's just it's
And I like the 6,900 area for today on the call spreads. That's how I'm positioned
it
for
didn't
now.
didn't feel good this morning when I woke up. I had a knot in my stomach. Okay, I don't know. I don't
Feel
know how
better
you
now
like.
though
I
after a
I
little.
understand, but I don't know how you like any level. Like, how is any level anything real? We've been up and down. We've been up and down the chain 10 different times. Do you realize a week ago we were trading in the 7,000 handle? Okay, so I don't know. Is a week a really long time? I'm leery, dude. I'm leery of the market. I
I get it.
just
I get it. It's tough being you see the price action and you're just waiting
dude,
for
this is a
whatever
gambling
you're
casino.
gonna do.
Eric, there is nothing you could look at to tell you what the next 40 points in NASDAQ can be. There's nothing you can look at. You're guessing. 100% guessing. Okay? This is a
Okay.
gambling casino. We have entered a gambling. I'm telling you, I've done this my career. This is a gambling casino. It could look bad on the opening, explode up. They'll search to try to hunt out gamma. Okay, that's all they do on a daily basis. That's why we're moving 50, 100 points because they search out the gamma all over. You know it. We do this for a living. There is literally. It's funny. I forgot who said this, but I think it was Druckenmiller, but I'm not 100% sure. But he was talking about, this is before algos existed and all this crazy crap. But basically, he was saying like a great trader has innate feel, great risk discipline, and can see things that no one can see. And like, I feel like 10 years ago, 15 years ago, whatever, that was me. Like I could say, "Oh, today the market is going to do blah 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 because of this." And you want to know what? It's a fake clue now. Whatever I see is fake. Fake clue. It's not even reality. Okay. So, like, that's why I'm saying, like, you can't
I
tell
don't
me.
think it's I don't think it's fake. I think the market now has access to a lot of clues. Like you were looking at a couple
Eric,
of
there are
clues.
no clues. They're not trading off clues. Listen, I
Okay.
went home long last night, which, I sold some, not enough. Okay. But I went home long last night for one reason. Okay. Because I thought that the Nikkei was going to go up, which it did. It went up 1.5% or 700 points. And I thought that Europe was going to go up and touch an all time high. And how could our stock market be languishing the way it is with all of these markets around the world, in laser bull markets? I mean, like I said, the Nikkei's up
Well, the
15%.
issue, these foreign markets, like you're talking about Japan and the DAX, they're not as heavy on the AI trade in their index as we are,
I'm
and
not
that's what's
saying
getting.
they're not. I'm looking, Eric. The reason why the market was up 40 handles when you woke up this morning is because those markets were up. The DAX was up 250, maybe a little more, and the Nikkei was up 750. Okay. Then we come in and they completely ignore that, and it's on to the next trade. And the problem is Nvidia keeps going down. It used to go down to 170. Now it goes down to 180 and then pops back to 188, 189. At the upper end of the level, it can't really move that much. They got earnings a week from today. Okay. Only problem is, how I told you all of these government numbers are rigged? Remember I said to you they're all rigged? The
You've
government
said
is seeing they're
you've said it.
seeing the numbers, they're not releasing them on time. They're releasing them whenever they want, and they're all amazing. Well, Jensen Wong, okay, is basically going to tell you that things could not be better. They're better than they've ever been, okay? He's not coming on and going, oh, we see a little bit of a slowdown, blah, 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 blah. The data centers are making us nervous. No way, dude. He's going to have two red pom poms like this. Yeah, baby, let's go. And the funny thing about Nvidia, which scares me, it's a one trick pony, dude. I saw a lot of this in Micron back in the 90s when Micron was the Nvidia of that day. Okay. It was going straight up. It went up to a couple of $100 and then it went to $1, dude. They couldn't even give it away. This guy Simplot, who is the family is the largest potato farmers in the world, okay, in Idaho, basically invested huge in this company, and he literally almost bankrupted an empire off of one stock. So, like, people have not been around for anything like that. But listen, I like Microsoft way better than I like Nvidia because Microsoft has 10 tricks. They got 10 different ways to make revenue in any type of environment. Okay. They're jamming on software. Obviously, software is the main thing, but they have Activision. They have sick businesses, so they're a little bit insulated. I don't see Nvidia as being insulated, and at some point, this stuff is going to slow down. But the bottom line is, I don't want to get crazy on this podcast, but if you're telling me on your talent, okay, or what you're looking at to read the tape or check out moves, what you're seeing to tell you what's going to happen to the next 50 or 100 NASDAQ handles today or whenever is impossible. Literally impossible. It's literally impossible. You cannot tell me that like I used to see clues. I'd be like, oh, well, this stock isn't acting right, or this market isn't acting right. And, the market is hooked on to bonds and we're moving tick for tick with bonds. And then we go off that and go to some. Now you're in a, dude, this is Casino Royale, dude. Here's my drink. There's vodka in this thing. So I just get my drink and I watch the video game all day long, dude. No human being can trade this market. No human, Eric, you're laughing, but no human being could trade the market. No
I'm just
human being.
imagining Robinhood actually serving up drinks uh, to their customers.
Well, listen, here's the one thing that's interesting. Okay. First of all, I would say this for young people and people invested in the market, they're not invested, they're gambling. This is a gambling casino. No dear. Listen, Robinhood wants you to stop trading stocks and gamble on defined outcomes. I heard the guy on Bloomberg. They want you in defined outcomes. They want you to bet. Dude, I looked. Listen to this. There was an Olympic broadcast of the hockey game. There was odds on whether the broadcaster would say the word ankle during why are you laughing? I swear to God, I'll send it to you. Ankle, knee. Like you could bet on words that an announcer is going to say that people could have inside information. And you saw it with what was it? The guy from I forgot where he was from, but one of these other sites, and basically they said, "Oh, if XYZ comes on, is he going to say this, this, and this?" And on purpose, he said 10 different things. He goes,
Yeah, I remember that. That was the Coinbase CEO.
"Yeah, right." So come on, dude. This
We should
stock
have odds
market.
on this show. We should have odds on this show, like what you're gonna say. Are you gonna say
You
timeout?
can, but all I'm trying to point out, Eric, is this is casino gambling. This is all we're doing. It's a casino. It is turned into a casino. You don't even have to have knowledge. Many, if not all, the people trading today have no knowledge. They don't even
Does this
understand options.
remind you of? Does this remind you of the late '90s when doctors were quitting their jobs mid
No,
surgery trade?
no, no, because back then you had to quit your job. Okay. Why does anyone need to quit their job today? Tell me why you would have to quit your job today.
You're saying they could just do it on the phone, no
What are you
problem.
talking about? I'm doing surgery. I run out and I start trading during the surgery. I leave. That reminds me of a funny story. So I was running money at a very high level at the point in time in 2001 when my youngest son, was born. And the doctor was a friend of mine. Okay. And we had some complications before the birth. All the guy wanted to do is talk to me about the stock market. Okay. And that was 2001. I swear on my life. He would pull me outside. He's like, "What do you think of this stock?" I'm like, Stu, come on, man. You got to save my baby. Like, I don't care about the stocks. Dude, this is the same thing. You don't have to, why would you have to quit your job to do this? Tell me why. Touchdown T behind us is doing it right now all day long. I don't know he's on his phone buried all day long. I don't know what he's doing. Hopefully he's not trading because he's not supposed to, but all day long he's got that market up. He's crossing the street to go to Starbucks. His head is down. You should put odds that he's going to get hit by a car because he's not even looking up. He's addicted. Dude, the kid is addicted right behind us, right there. Every tick.
Oh,
Oh,
it's his
shit.
job. I mean, you can't. I'm the same way. I'm in my phone like every chance I get, looking at the market.
Right. But what I'm telling you is the stock
Even the
market has
jobs kind of
become,
hard to catch.
Eric, the stock market has become casino gambling. I don't know how you don't see it. It's
Well, that's
casino.
why we're glued to our phone because, like you said earlier, the market is flat on the year but moving up and down 100 points.
Okay, but then let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. The guys that are involved in this, do you think they have knowledge? You talk about a doctor wanting to
Zero,
trade.
zero,
Okay,
zero.
so
But it's
don't
not
you
just knowledge. Here's where the real knowledge, I think, is where they're lacking the risk management, the money management discipline.
why
They
do you
don't have.
say that? Dude, why do you say that? They just what do they call it? They hodl. Dude, some guy is buying zero DTE for today for $3. That's $70 out of the money. And he's hoping it goes in the money. Hoping it goes in the money. And not only hoping, he wants that 3 to go to 50. Okay? And it happens on rare occasion, but that's what they're looking for. That's where this market has changed. Listen, the barrier to entry to trade options when I got in was very high. No one did it. Okay? You had to have money in a trading account. You had to have a seat on the floor. Now the barrier to entry is $400 in a Robinhood account.
Well,
Right
that's
now that
okay. I mean,
$400 account,
the game has changed. The players have definitely changed, especially since COVID, and they have a certain kind of uh, gambling characteristic to them. And so I just don't think that's that's going to change anytime soon until there's a massive wipeout, like a thirty
Well, wait a
percent
second.
decline.
Okay, I'm all good with that. Okay, so let me ask you this: the
Meaning, what do we do? We have to adapt, right? We
dude,
have to
let me
adapt.
ask you this.
Got to get out of the business.
Dude, let me ask you this. The crash of 1987 was less than 30%. Okay. And then it recovered fairly quickly by the end of the year. Okay. Other moves down, the same thing has happened. Okay. Where do you think retail was the longest? Okay. Where do you think they had the biggest long position?
As
Coming
per
in.
usual, right at the high. As
No,
per
no.
usual.
What thing do you think they were the longest?
What, in
I would
1980?
say, I would say it's Bitcoin.
Oh,
Bitcoin
right
is
now.
where.
Right
No,
now.
not now. When that thing was on the high. Every
Oh,
dude, you included. You
Palantir.
included. I'm actually going to ask the producer of this show to get that episode. I don't know how they could do it, probably with
Yeah,
AI.
I would
Where
not.
you
I'm not.
said you
I
would
don't
never
work.
sell Bitcoin in your life.
I
You
could never
literally
sell it.
said it.
I
Time
would
out.
never.
You said on the air you would never ever sell Bitcoin in your life. Okay,
Why? Why would I?
because
If I want to short
it
Bitcoin,
dropped 57%,
okay.
which is three times the amount that the stock market went down.
I don't need to short Bitcoin. I shorted Palantir instead. I don't need to short Bitcoin.
Dude, you don't have to flex your muscle, okay?
I do. What do you
All I'm
want?
pointing, Eric, all I'm doing is pointing out something. At the dead high,
Yeah, I know.
everyone was
Yeah.
long, strong, and bullish. Now we're in half, and no one can buy it, okay? The retail trader or retail investor or whatever you want to call these clowns is destroyed. The only thing they have not gotten destroyed, they've gotten destroyed in individual stocks, okay, like Palantir and some others, but on broad base index, they have not gotten destroyed. They will get destroyed on that, okay.
I
But what I'm trying to explain to you, okay, is come on, is Bitcoin from the high to the low was off almost 60%. 60.
mhm.
That's worse than any crash times 10 that we've
Yep.
ever had. That's a massive hit. Okay. But people still have it and haven't opened their account. They're just praying. Okay. What's the next one that they got annihilated in? Let's go over it.
Palantir.
We'll get to stocks after. Gold and silver. Okay. Most of the buying happened well above 100 in silver.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And gold not as bad, but over 5,200, 5,300. So
Correct.
they're destroyed.
Yep.
Destroyed. But they can come gamble in the zero DTE market every single day. Dude, I see it every day. It's sick. Now, it's the volumes have definitely dried up a bit. And by the straddles being higher priced, it makes it harder for them. Listen, you know who their best friends are? You know who the retail public's best friend is? You know who he is? We talk about these two guys or girls all the time.
Oh, Ken and Jane. Ken and
Exactly. Best friends. They're best friends. You know why? Because they see the amount of flow coming in and they're like, dude, they have computer algorithms that are saying, hey, we have 500 buyers of, these zero DTs. Let's blow them up. Okay. So Ken and Jane are their best friends. Listen, you know how you're a best friend you can't trust? They're the best friend you can't trust. They're on their team. They're going to whip, dip, and clip these clowns like no tomorrow. But they see the orders coming. And when they see massive buy orders, they're not market makers. A friend of mine called me and this morning. He was like, oh, yeah, Jane Street, a market maker. Jane Street hasn't laid a bid or offer out in the market in their life. Okay. That's a market maker putting markets up. Okay. Bids and offers. They don't do that. So
I mean, they do.
literally,
They do other stuff too. There's a lot of ETF arbitrage. Retail will jam up an individual stock, and then there's a little bit of a opportunity for an R play with the ETFs. They do that a lot too. Stuff
okay.
like
Whatever they do, I like that you say they do something because that's what they do. They do something to figure out how they can jam someone, get some edge. Listen, these guys, okay, Jane Street got kicked out of China. They're in a lawsuit in India with the Indian government. Okay, why do you think that is? Because they're playing games. They're rigging
Oh,
markets.
well, no. I think the reason they kicked them out is because for some odd reason, maybe Jane and Ken weren't able to pass along an envelope under the table to the right person.
Eric, did you read the story of what they did? Okay, you obviously didn't. Okay, so what they would do, okay, is they would jam up the Indian broad index, okay, on the opening. Then they would go out and buy boatloads of put options. They're too scared to do this in the US, okay, because they don't want the market ever to go down. As long as they're rigging to the upside, they're okay. They blast down the Indian market, sell out all their puts, and make a fortune. And that's what they were doing on a daily basis, along with other things. So listen, all I'm saying is this is a gambling casino. I really wanted to spend a little time on a podcast just explaining, like for someone like me, it's very, very difficult to come up with a reason why the markets are moving up and down. It's impossible. Okay. This morning I wake up, they're up 40. We're at the beginning of the podcast, they're up 15. I don't know why. Why were we up 40? Why are we up 15? Why can we go back to the high or crash down? Why does it have to happen every day? Why can't we have days that are, I'm not going to use the word calm because that's not even in the dictionary of the market, but like why does the market have to move so much when we're unchanged on the year? Why is it moving so much?
I think part of the reason we talked about it yesterday as well. I think the market is bifurcated, confused, and I think that there's a massive repositioning and repricing of growth underway. And I
Well,
think
but what
that's
does
what
that have to do
a
with the
lot of.
market being up 40 and then up 15?
So
Okay.
I said
You
that
say,
right.
wait,
So
they
I
didn't
said that's
reprice
part of
it. Wait, they didn't reprice it at 7 a.m., but they repriced it at 8 a.m.?
So the way I'm looking at it right now is, and this changes from week to week, but right now I'm kind of grouping. I have Micron and Caterpillar in one category. These are AI related plays that haven't come down yet. Then you have your software stocks that have come down yet. Then you have your Amazon and Google, which reported that big capex that hasn't rallied yet. So I'm grouping these, let's call them stocks by narrative. And I'm just watching what's happening pre market and watching the tape in that way. And when I group it in that way, things start to kind of make a little bit more sense to me.
I don't know how. Let's say you're looking at your software stocks, right?
Mhm.
Market's up 70 NASDAQ points, and all of a sudden, those stocks start acting better. The market could sell off because they may sell, big cap tech. You have no idea. You don't
Well, you got
even
to
know.
look
You
at big tech.
cannot tell
You
me
gotta look
you
at
know.
that example you mentioned. That you got to look at big. Then you got to look at big cap tech. If you know
Eric,
that is the main
listen, you can
driver.
come convince
Hold up
me
a second. Hold up. If
to
you know that is a main driver of the market right now, this rotation, then you got to be glued to that. The problem is there's a lot of narratives at play at the same time. So there's a lot of stuff to look at.
okay, dude, I'm telling you, as I'm looking at you through this podcast, you
You just
cannot
look at
tell
one
me.
chart on your screen. You got to look at like several different
Okay, and then
narratives.
what if it looks weak and then it's a false clue and it gets strong? Okay. What if it gets weak and the Nasdaq is upticking? Okay. Like, listen, these clues, nobody knows which way. Like, you can't look at anything to know. You just can't. Software could be good today and the market could be bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I'm looking
Big
at
cap tech
Micron.
could be good
I'm
and
looking at
software could be
Micron
bad.
pre-market, and it was up. Caterpillar was up. All of a sudden, these two are kind of down. I'm watching these because I feel like
Okay, and the market's still up. Timeout. So the market's still up. So what happens if those stocks turn and go up? Is the market going to go up or down? You don't have any idea. You don't know if they're going to sell Nvidia to buy Oracle. You have no idea what they're going to do because this is an algorithmic computer that is programmed to do whatever it's doing. Okay.
find the
And
algo of the day and ride it. That's what I say. We got a question for you from the chat,
okay.
and I'm going to read that. Hey, Larry, that's you. what do you think about another sell wave to Bitcoin down to 55K?
I think anything.
Then, so the guy's saying Bitcoin, he's thinking it might drop to 55K, then snap back.
Okay, well, that's as good as thinking it's going to go to 65K. I don't know. I don't know where it's going. It's certainly weird that it's not bouncing at all. Um, I do, again, like I said, there may be more selling. I don't know, but I feel like I don't know. Listen, again, I'm not the retail public. I'm not these guys. You're more like these guys. So I'm going to throw it to you, honestly, because I
Okay.
don't take 55, 60, 70% losses. Okay. So my question is you're down 55, 60% in Bitcoin. Okay. What's going to make you sell it today? I'm just wondering what's going to make you sell it today? You've already taken a massive hit, right? Massive. So what's going to make you sell it? That's all. So I don't know. What's the difference between, let me ask you, if you're down 50 plus percent, does it matter if you're down 50 or 60? You're destroyed, right? So I'm not sure the levels. Again, I thought that there would be consolidation and a little bit of an uptrade here. It doesn't feel like it's going to happen. It may happen in an hour, it may happen in 4 hours, or it may not happen. And we could leg lower. But to get down to like 60,000 again, I mean, it could happen in a heartbeat, but you're going to have a big risk off, um, type of environment where
I don't know.
equity.
Even if we have a big risk off environment, like right now, you saw that NAV chart on IBIT. I mean, how much more outflows can you get in this thing? Um,
I don't know if it's a matter of getting outflows. It may be a matter of getting inflows. Maybe they're not getting as many inflows. Like I said, I think that Bitcoin is 4 months into it. So I think a lot of liquidation and consolidation is happening at lower levels. Now it could leg lower. I don't know. I just think gold and silver, to me, looking at gold and silver, they can go a lot lower. I'm not saying they will because volume may come back into them. I don't know that. But right now, me looking at those, I see lower. I see lower. I don't think there's been any liquidation. There's just been a lack of buying right now. No liquidation. Um,
mhm.
you know, it's funny. I don't know if a number came out. I don't think
I
so.
gotta take the opposite side of that trade. You know, I got to take the opposite side of that one.
What's the trade? The opposite side of what?
Gold and silver
I
making
know,
new
dude.
lows.
You like gold, but you don't have a reason why. I mean, like, what's the reason?
Well, we can't
What's the
debate the
reason?
reason why because you think that gold should have a zero value. Zero. There's
Dude,
no.
I think
I don't
gold
believe
is
gold is
I
money.
think
So
gold I
I can't
think
debate
gold
it
is
with you.
Eric,
Is
you have no reason to. You're not even okay. I'm not saying for
is
a
gold money?
trade.
Yes or no? Is gold money? Yes or no?
No.
No. So we can't debate it.
Okay. Dude, you love gold. Keep buying gold, dude. You've been lucky to have a 3 year bull market or a three and a half
Very
year
lucky.
bull market.
3 years. 3 years is a
And they're
long time
gonna
to.
and they're gonna erase half of it.
3 years is
Okay.
a long time to be lucky,
I
dude.
understand, but they're gonna erase it. Dude, you gotta look at where we are now.
They're
It's
not going
not
to
what
erase.
happened. What are
Guaranteed.
you so bullish about? Like, I'm not
We're not
understanding what's so bullish.
can't debate it. You don't think it's money? There's no debate.
Dude, okay, it's money. Okay, it's money. Dude, is my art on my wall money? Is
No.
my art on my wall money?
Are central banks buying
I'm
your art?
asking a question.
I'm
Is
asking
the
you a
art
different
I
question.
own on my wall money?
No,
Is
because central
why
banks
not?
aren't buying your
Why
art.
not? I could trade it in just like you could trade in
No.
gold. You have to make a trade in gold to get money. I could
Is the
sell
Bank
my
of
art
England
and get
shipping
money.
shipping art to the New York Fed? Are they doing that? No, but
Eric,
they are shipping gold
Eric,
bars.
I listen. I don't like instruments that don't pay interest and cost money to hold. I'm just telling you, as an investment. I'm not saying buying gold at 4,400 for a trade to make 200 points is not a bad idea. Okay. But I do not think, you got to take, even with the moving gold, you got to just do this. Take out 5.5% a year or 5% a year. Okay. Do that for 20 years and look at where we're at. It's not that good. Okay. It's not even close to an S&P return. It's a piece of junk. Okay. That's all I'm saying. The bottom line is you've caught a wave where people have bought it. But right
Mhm.
now, you think people can buy this thing and they're okay? You
I
think
think I
gold's going
caught
to
a
be up on the
massive
year?
macro wave, dude. I don't think it's people. I think it's a massive macro wave that could last years.
Okay. Whatever, dude. Okay. Dude, listen, I feel like, honestly, I'm looking right at you, and this is Bitcoin Square, dude. You literally were the same exact way in Bitcoin. Yes, you
Keep
were.
shorting
Yes,
gold,
you
baby.
were. Bitcoin's going to 250. It can never go
Oh,
down.
yeah,
Dude, I did podcasts with you. It was months of it. Bitcoin
so
can't go down. You got to own it. I would never sell it. Why would you
well, I
never
never
sell?
say it
Time
can't
out.
go down. I
Time
would
out.
never say
Time
something like
out.
that.
Time out. Is Bitcoin money? Is
Not yet.
Bitcoin money?
Not yet.
Why not? You could trade Bitcoin right now and get dollars. Same way you
No,
could trade gold and get dollars. It's the
no,
same exact thing. Dude,
no. It's,
you are Johnny Price. That's who you are.
I'm
So
Johnny Price.
yeah, if Bitcoin was up right now, you'd still be squawking it. You would love Bitcoin right now. You know it. You
I
know it.
still love Bitcoin. Don't worry. I don't love Bitcoin. I see the potential of it. So
What? An
anyway,
antiquated
let's
tech
talk
time out.
about
An
levels.
antiquated technology that's 12 years old, that hasn't changed in 12 years, that's a source of moving money around the world illegally and supposedly non-traceable versus Zelle or Venmo or any other way you think has a shot? Not a shot. Bro, I'm at Bank America. I could send you thousands of dollars right now, okay? Right now in 1 second. Why am I opening a Bitcoin account to transfer money when it's coming right out of my bank account? There's no reason, unless you're doing something you think is non traceable, you're not using Bitcoin for anything, dude. I'm just letting you know. So if you think otherwise, tell me what they're transacting Bitcoin
No,
today.
right?
Today we're
Not using
transacting.
Bitcoin for anything, but there's a whole ecosystem that is.
Okay, dude. Whatever you say. Dude, I don't know. I heard about Chainlink for freaking years. Where's
That's a
that
good
been?
one. Oh, that
Yeah.
reminds me. I need to buy a little chain link. Thank you for reminding me.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, good luck. I don't know, dude. You're honestly this. I love doing this, dude, because you're like you've given us no answers today
No answers.
about
No, I never
none.
give answers.
No.
I
I'm
never
asking you like
I never
today.
give answers.
You're looking at a straddle,
I
but
think it's
what are
the
you
why don't
looking
you give us
at?
the trade for the day? It's 9:23. By the way, I
The
want
trade
to know
for
if
the
the,
trade.
I just want to know if the
I'm
people
going to tell you
watching
the trade for the day that I'm looking at.
like to see us trade live. If you guys want to write in and let us know if you would actually like to see
Dude,
us
I
trade.
want you to trade live, dude. All
Okay.
my trades are live, but you could trade live if you'd like.
All right.
Okay. I run an ETF. I can't trade live. Okay. It's not legal. But if you want me to get in trouble with the SEC, then we can go that direction. Okay. I'm not trading
You
it
know what
live.
I want? I want you to be a Fed governor. That's what I think your role should be.
Yeah,
I want to see you.
dude, listen, I came in a good mood. I was here since 6:30. I was playing music, relaxing, and now you have me agitated because I'm not. I
That's how you
just
get ready for the market.
dude, your product, dude. The lack of respect for the move is what scares me about you. It does.
Mm,
You got Bitcoin down 60% and you're okay. You got
yeah.
gold down 30%, you're okay. You
Oh,
got silver.
yeah,
Wait a
yeah.
second. Time out. Silver is down 70% basically in a month and a half. And you're okay. You're okay with all the moves. You can keep buying. Okay. But the
You got
real
to be
people
calm
out
in the
there,
chaos, baby.
the
You got to
real
be
Eric,
calm
the
in the
real
chaos.
people out there can't keep buying. Okay. That's the problem. Okay. They're locked in. And, the question is, how much more pain can they take? And that's it. But as far as today, I like potentially upside call spreads.
Oh, now you like upside call spreads. What's your level?
Dude, you're not even letting me talk. It's just such a good podcast today. You're just, I would not sell upside call spreads right this minute. I would wait to see if we rally. I'm not going to sell upside call spreads right now. We're down, a lot from the high. Okay. If we rally up 25, 30 handles, I'll short them again. I don't think that's going to happen. I would not touch the downside today unless we went down significantly on the day, and then I would sell downside. And that's it. And the market is, I'm going to use the word effed up. The market is just so bizarre that, I mean, come on, you woke up this morning, market's up, and then we're going to end. Market's up basically 300 Dow points, 40 plus S&P, 180 NASDAQ. You come in, there's no bid. But by the way, DAX and Nikkei are on all-time highs. So what does this all mean? So we'll answer that question or look into that more tomorrow of why there's such a divergence between us and them. You got the Nikkei up
I already told you.
17%.
I already told you why. They're not like DAX is not nearly as heavy in the AI trade as our indices
So
are.
now the AI trade is dead. The AI trade is over in 1 year, literally.
There's a repricing of growth.
Okay,
Uh,
what's the biggest AI timeout? What's the biggest AI stock in the world? You know what it is? Nvidia. Okay, they
right,
make chips for AI.
right.
Nvidia is not down on the year, it's up on the year. Okay? So I don't know what's going on. Nvidia
Yeah,
is the poster
they're
child
dude
for
because
AI.
of this. You see this? This is DRAM right here. I paid $360 for two chips. This thing was like $150 2 years ago, a year ago.
Okay, but
So
that gets me, and then
cycle
that gets
stuff.
me to one thing. How is
That's
there
late
no
cycle stuff, by the way. But go ahead.
Let me ask you this. Why is there no inflation then? Why is there no
Great,
inflation?
very
I
good
mean,
question.
my Starbucks that I got this morning doubled in price in a year. This thing doubled in price. Okay. How is there no inflation? So
That's a
that's
good.
the story. But we're 3 minutes to the opening. Again, if we go down, I would sell some downside put spreads. If we rally up, but we'd have to rally near the highs, I would sell
Okay,
upside.
go down, but how much are we gonna like? What should people look for? Okay, we're gonna go
I
down.
have
It's
no
gonna.
idea, dude, but we're 2 minutes to the opening, so we're not going to go over that. I would say, we'd have to be down 30 spoo points before I touch it. Okay, so that would be
Yeah,
50 points from here. I don't need to get involved, dude. I've done 14 or 17 trades. Every trade's a winner. Usually I give a trade a day. I'm giving a trade every 2 or 3 days, and it's much better. And I'm being patient. Anyway, I wish everyone good luck. Sorry we went a little sideways, but hopefully you guys got something. Peace.